This is a fair text. 408, see you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Devil's advocate. If he had stayed in and gave up a run and got pulled with runners on, would we be blaming Tony V that he should have pulled him earlier? How'd you respond to that?
Depends on how it went. Like, if he goes in there and it's loud contact but an out, and then a 7-pitch at bat and he gives up a double, then, okay, it's time to go. But if it's just, a fluke, a nubber, a blooper, a duck snort,
That's my favorite one.
The old duck snort.
Yeah, snort.
Broken bat single or dribbler. Just depends on how it looks. But that is a fair devil's advocate point.
It's a fair point and a fair question. Here's how I'd answer it. A, no. I would not blame Tony V if Logan Webb had stayed in and it had not gone well. But B, the scenario you throw out there I don't even think is possible. The scenario that's thrown out is Logan gives up a run and then gets pulled with runners on. That's already too many batters. In other words, I've said it a couple of times. In that scenario, you pretty much put Logan out there, and if one base runner happens, that's it. You sort of give, this is for me at minimum, you give Logan Webb a shot for a 1-2-3 inning. He'd been doing a bunch of them. If he doesn't do it, you have bullpen guys ready. And to your point, maybe I give him one base runner if it's a duck snort.
Right.
You know what I mean? You bloop a Texas leaguer, whatever. I'm not gonna pull you. But for the most part, what you usually do with a pitcher is you tell them, like, dude, I'm not gonna take your win from you. In other words, I'm not gonna let you get 2 base runners on, because if they come around to score, you've lost your win, we've lost our win. Or at minimum, you certainly don't let him face that next batter with 2 runners on, hit a home run, and you end up with the loss. So it's like you've pitched too well to get to that point. But to me, I really don't. This is just my thought process. I don't see really any scenario in the way this played out last night where you don't at least let Logan start the ninth.
Right.
At least let him start. Go get that first hitter and let's see what happens. And then we can go from there and all bets are off. That's the way I would have played it.
Yeah, and it seems like the decision was made between the pitching coach Message and Tony Vitello before Logan Webb even had a chance to weigh in. Not that, he has the final say or anything like that, but normally you would talk to the player about it and you would, get his thoughts. How does he feel? And then make a group decision.
Shawn Estes, we've mentioned this a couple of times. Shawn Estes after the game on NBC Sports Bay Area, I thought Shawn, if you're listening, did a brilliant job because you were passionate. It was clear what you were upset about, but you did it in a very measured, fair sort of a way. Take a listen to Estes after the game.
Keaton Winn's going to get a lot of blame for this game, and he shouldn't. And I'll tell you why he shouldn't. Because he just got done pitching 24 hours ago in Chicago, getting in at 4 a.m., throwing 19 pitches. The day before that, he threw 22 pitches. He had 4 appearances on the road trip. 3 of those 4, he had to get 5 outs in those games. The guy's arm is tired, and you could tell in the 9th inning, based on the mistakes he was making with that split, that he just didn't have it. His arm was beat, right? My point is that he shouldn't even be in the game today, all right? And you know who should be in the game? The guy that started the game.
Yep.
And the reason why he should have been in the game, because he's the guy, he's your ace. He's the guy that can handle that. The guy's thrown more than 100 pitches a few times in his career. He pitched his butt off all game.
Yes, he did.
Probably should have had 80-something pitches going into the 9th inning rather than 99 because of a call that they probably should have challenged earlier in the game that would have saved him 12 pitches. And he doesn't get the ball in the 9th inning. He's the guy that was able to get his sleep last night. He wants the ball in that inning. In a game like that today, you want to save your bullpen. I guarantee you the Logan Webb wanted to go out and pitch that 9th inning. I give Keaton Winn no blame in this game.
You know something we haven't mentioned yet that I think Estes talked about there? We sort of mentioned it as Logan was the one who didn't pitch in the Chicago series. Did you hear Shawn say Logan is the one who was able to get his sleep last night? I don't know this, but this is normal. I bet Logan wasn't even there for the Sunday night game.
Flew him home?
I would think. Why on earth would you have him there for Sunday night baseball?
Yeah, that seems pretty standard.
So now I'm going to make an assumption here that Logan Webb was all tucked in with his teddy bear on Sunday by 10:30 at night.
Probably watched the game from bed.
While the Giants hadn't even gotten to the airport in Chicago yet. And now you yank him out of the game for not just a guy who was there, but a guy who pitched high leveraged moments in an extra inning game for the second night in a row,
right,
halfway across the country.
And he had to get 5 outs in Milwaukee, and I had forgotten that in the previous series. So Keaton Winn's been out there a bunch on the trip.
Shawn has a great point. And look, managers know this. It's their job to get second guessed. Is it unfair sometimes? You betcha. But I always have a rule. This is the rule I live by with regard to criticizing whether it's coaches, managers, or athletes the day after, the Monday morning quarterback, if you will. My thing is, was it your opinion before it went bad? I don't want to hear, I want to see Keaton Winn in there, and then it goes bad, and you're like, that dummy should have stuck with Logan.
Right.
That's not fair. But if you started the 9th inning last night, and I'll raise my hand as one of them, thinking before the inning started, boy, I think you might want to stick with Logan Webb right now. If you started the inning that way, then it is fair today to question the way that Logan Webb was taken out of the game and the way that Tony Vitello managed this thing. And I count myself among those, and I know that's a lot of you.
Yeah, it's a lot of people, and especially when you see that it's going to be Keaton Winn and it's going to be the 3rd straight day, it just gives you that feeling of dread because it's something you don't often do, and if you do it, it's usually because he's your lights-out closer who is incredible. And if you have that guy, you go to him a 3rd straight day, it's still a little risky, but you're going to your dude who has all the saves, and he is constantly coming in and coming through in the clutch, and that's not what Keaton Winn's been. It's tough, man. When do you think Keaton Winn goes in tonight?
3rd inning.
I mean, you got to keep him. You got to ride the hot hand. Mean-spirited.
That's a great question.
Which beat writer gets to, actually the dugout has probably already happened, right? Has the dugout already happened? I forget what time they do the dugout on the night games. Let's see. Where is the meet?
It's happening right now, actually.
Okay. So who's the beat writer that gets to go, is Keaton down tonight? I assume.
I mean, don't assume.
Tony. Keaton's down tonight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Keaton's down tonight.
I'll be plotting my revenge.
And you would figure Dylan Smith is down as well, but hey, 3 straight days, am I right?
Well, I mean, 3 straight days for a reliever is not out of the question, obviously. They threw Keaton Winn last night, and Dylan has thrown very few pitches. So I wouldn't think that Dylan Smith is off the table. Sometimes there's 3 sort of designations, right? There's full go, there's full stop, and then there's we'd rather not use you, but if we end up in a situation, we will. That's probably where Dylan Smith is tonight.
And he threw, about 8? He threw 3 pitches.
3 pitches, and then What did he throw the night before in Chicago? Not many.
Right.
Dylan's fine.
Okay.
Dylan's fine. But, I mean, yeah, Dylan Smith is available. For those of you who know who that is.
Right.
I mean, the options. I still will go to bed tonight, and I'll feel for Tony on that front. The options are not there. They're just not there. You know what I mean? Would you have felt great? What if it was, so let's split the difference with what Estes is talking about. Let's say you really felt strongly it's time to take Logan out of the game. He's about to hit the top of the lineup for the 4th time through, and he's just 3 starts off the injured list. Tony Vitello, I feel strongly that we got to take him out. Okay. But then Estes is here going, not Win. Don't go to Win. Is
right.
Dog tired. Okay, then who would you have felt good about?
How about Sam Hentges?
Okay, would you?
He's pitched pretty well in a small sample, and I don't think he's pitched in like 5 days.
Would you have felt good about Sam Hentges coming in to close the game?
I would feel better. And again, you just laid it out. Like the whole idea of feeling good, if you run down the list, there's not many pitchers about whom I would feel, quote, good. I like Eric Miller.
Okay.
As long as he doesn't have to field, that can get a little bit sideways.
And he doesn't always throw strikes.
Right.
And Tony Vitello said last night, we were looking for strike throwers. You know, you thought that was a little bit of a shot.
Absolutely.
At, was it Dylan Smith?
Yep.
I thought it was a shot at the whole pen. And by the way, it's a fair shot.
Yeah.
You got a bunch of dudes that come out of the bullpen throwing balls.
Well, Keaton Winn, he throws maybe the most strikes. He's only walked 9 in, 30 innings
Yeah,
now?
Eric Miller came in the night before and almost blowtorched the whole game. Because he came in, the first thing he did was walk the first guy.
Right.
And then the next thing he did was like...
throw it over the first baseman's head.
Backward, through my legs, little hoopity, hoppity throw. I mean, what the hell was that? And he got lucky. So, okay, I understand that. But what are your other options? You got Carson Seymour. You got Tristan Beck.
Right.
Sam Henches. Brubaker.
Yeah. And Brubaker pitched the day before.
That's okay. Killian was down. Those are your options.
They're not great.
They're not good
great,
options.
Bob.
No.
And, I mean, Tristan Beck is sitting with an ERA of 10.5.
Tristan Beck. I mean...
It's been a disaster. And, Dylan Smith, he's played such a small role that, you didn't want to throw him in there because he's too green. So you go to your experienced guy who's pitched a third straight day. Or the other thought would be, I don't know, let your ace who's making $23 million a year, who I guess got a good night's sleep, if he did, in fact, fly home early.
I got to imagine. If they
didn't fly him home early,
then
that
that's
is
malpractice.
Completely.
Yep.
You're stealing my word, but you're absolutely right. You beat me to it.
I knew where you were going.
It's malpractice because what's he going to do in Chicago other than spit seeds and watch a little bit of ball in the rain?
Yep.